So talking about editor is the third component in Android Studio. These first two being the toolbar, the very first layer. The second is the navigation, and now third moving like talking about the Android editor, right? So this is our Android editor. This is how it appears in the very beginning. In Android editor, you generally what we will generally do is we write our entire code. So whenever we write anything, whenever we create a screen in Android, that screen has two parts. The first part is the Java class, which is actually the programming part where you define the functionality of your application, the code, how it will work. Like suppose if you are building a calculator and a calculator application, so whenever the user will click on 2 and 3 and he wants to add it, so the logic of adding these two numbers will happen in main activity.java in this file, and the UI, those buttons and all those things, that will be written over here. So this is the XML layout where we write the entire code of our front end of our design. So Android Studio provides two ways to design your Android application. The first is the text thing, where you can write simple XML layout. You can write out text and everything to design the application. And the second is the design, where you can simply drag and drop kind of feature, where you can simply drag and drop and see and create your entire UI for the application. So this is mostly the editor, and the second part is the architecture of the entire your Android application. So over here you can see the hierarchical view of your Android application of the code base. We have multiple folders: manifest, Java, REST, Gradle scripts, and all those things. Then we have drawable layout. I'll be discussing this in more detail, in more depth in the in upcoming chapters, right? And then we have the structure. So structure basically defines the structure of your current file, of your current, this could be your Java file or this could be your XML file, right? So it's loading here, that's why it's showing nothing to show in the structure view, which is actually uh, not true. And all right, so since we have a blank XML file, so we have nothing to show over here. So moving again to main activity.java, we can see, so this is the structure of our main activity.java file. So we have one function on create, and so we can basically see we have all these functions wherein we can show the properties of a certain class. We can show then we can show many other things like group methods, or sort it alphabetically, sort it in terms of the visibility. And so there are multiple options which we can uh, through which we can sort our entire Java class. We can show how the class is inherited from the other classes. Then when you right click on the editor, there are certain options. So like options like we can we can analyze our code, we can inspect our code, we can inspect the current file, which shows that there is no suspicious code that has been found. Then again, clicking on analyze, we can find out, we can do the code cleanup, so there are no suspicious code found. So basically these are the certain features which comes very handy when you are building enterprise level Android application, and these are certain thing which you should know, right? And the third is the captures, which actually show, like if you're taking a snapshot of a certain part of the code, that shows up in the capture section of Android Studio. Since we haven't done any, we taken any snapshot of our code, nothing is here, right? So we'll be discussing this in more detail, the entire editor thing. We will dissect the entire Android code in more detail in the later chapters. So this is all for Android Studio, the editors in Android Studio. In next topic we will discuss about the Android toolbar windows, which is this and this, the entire thing. And once we are done with that, in next topic we will discuss the status bar in Android Studio. And this is it.